Respectability politics is a spoken and unspoken rule that many groups who face marginalization really have to deal with. It suggests that people can earn fairness, safety, dignity, care, respect if they just act respectable enough. Very subjective and loaded term. People who are marginalized as well as people who do the marginalizing really hold and weaponize this belief. So you must dress a certain way, speak properly, always show politeness, whatever that looks like for your culture, or that you're one of the good, whatever your group is associated with. If you're a young woman, you should carry yourself a particular way. As an immigrant, you should carry yourself a particular way. Similar kinds of performances expected from people from particular countries, from different racial groups, different sexual identities, social classes and religions, as if these are tickets to human consideration and human dignity. As scholar Evelyn Brooks Higginbotham mentioned in her analysis of Jim Crow South, she talks about respectable behavior being a strategy to counter racist stereotypes, and that it was necessary for demanding the rights and citizenship within a space that was very hostile. This is wonderful, and it shouldn't stop there, because then it takes the symptom and turns it into the cause and makes the injustice about the clothes you were wearing, as if even in school uniform or when fully covered, people are not attacked, children are not hurt by adults. So this assumption that injustice is associated with someone's behavior as opposed to the perpetrator and their internal dialogue is really misguided and forces groups to internalize the oppressor's standard instead of the standard that you would prefer. It also suggests that violence against certain people is palatable because they are not respectable enough. But standards shift, so your respectability today could be not respectable tomorrow. There's very little comfort in living life that way. There's lots of emotional and mental labor of self-policing to make sure the hair, the nails, the whatever is perfect. This divides communities, creates hierarchies, turns people into respectable and not respectable, and definitely distracts from the larger structural forces that marginalize society. It diverts resources and collective energy from those structural critiques onto each other for the most trivial of things, has us engaging in this exhaustive intra-community surveillance and constant behavior modification, re-socializing of children, creates hostility within our groups. One is never perfect enough to meet the respectable criteria. So it's more about not being the deviant. All of this legitimizes the dominant group's moral authority to be adjudicating who is worthy and who is unworthy based on how they speak, where they go, where they live, how they choose to interact with life. Character attributes they can't change about themselves. Instead of thinking about humanity being